This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
The views expressed by guests on this program do not necessarily represent the views of the host or owners of the Doggy Diva show and do not necessarily constitute endorsement of products. Medical information discussed by guests on this program are those of the guests and is only for informational purposes and should not replace medical advice by your local veterinarian professional.
Hi, this is Susan Marie from the Doggy Diva show. This week, one family's stories of rescuing puppies. That's what's on our show this week. Let's get started.
Hey, did you hear that? What is that? It's the bark heard round the world. The Doggy Diva Show. Here's national award-winning author and animal advocate, Susan Marie.
Hi, welcome to the Doggy Diva show, the show for animal lovers. I'm your host, Susan Marie, and as always, I'm joined by my canine co-hosts, the Doggy Divas themselves, Francesca, Coco, and our newest little diva, Miss Olive. Miss Olive is the cute little Italian Greyhound rescue in the picture with the microphone. Thank you for joining us today as we bring the experts in the pet and animal world right to you. Contact us at thedoggydiva.com. That's the DOGGYDIVA.com. We love hearing from you. So go grab a cup of coffee and your pet's favorite treat, and we'll be back in just a moment.
So now I've got this pack of 4 Shar-Pei rescue dogs for, oh my goodness, probably 5-6 years. They get a regular diet of Dinovite with every meal.
DINOVITE.com.
People remark on what beautiful coats they've got. I tell them, you don't need to wait until a problem presents itself. It's far better to keep the dog happy and healthy at all times.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dinovite from DINOVITE.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Doggy Diva show. As a rescue herself, Miss Olive knows the importance of rescue and fostering. Kathy Callahan, a certified professional dog trainer and contributor to Whole Dog Journal, brings a whole unique and cheerful look into her family's journey of fostering over 100 shelter puppies, and each pup has their own endearing story, and Kathy's here with us today to share many of them with us in this amazing photo-filled book, 101 Rescue Puppies, One Family Story of Fostering Dogs, Love, and Trust. And I have to tell you, everybody, just looking at these pictures, especially in the times we're living in right now, I think that it is so uplifting and just fills my heart with joy. And I'm so happy to have with us today the author of that book, Kathy Callahan. Hey, Kathy, welcome to the Doggy Diva show.
Thank you so much for having me. I am delighted to be here.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. Now, could you just share with the listeners a little bit about yourself and how you started fostering?
Sure. So we were actually a normal family just 8 years ago when we had 2 dogs and a cat and 2 kids. And like many of your listeners, one of our dogs had passed away. And so we were feeling sad. You know how that is. Mm-hmm. If you love dogs, your house just doesn't feel the same. But we weren't ready to replace her. We weren't ready to add a real permanent member because we were still just in mourning, honestly. So somebody suggested fostering, and we just kind of thought, we can do that. So we took in 2 puppies, and I had no idea. We didn't set out to have this become our thing. We didn't set out to, be the puppy people, but we are now almost at 200 because it has become addictive, because there is no better feeling in the world. We've taken these dogs, and they're not coming from they're at risk in some way, and so they get to us, and so I work with different rescues and shelters, and they do that hard work of getting the dogs to me, and then I get the happy work of we just pull them into our pack and we get them all happy. We get them all healthy and happy and feeling good, and then we hang out together having a great time until their forever homes show up. And it has been, and again, I didn't mean to foster, nor did I mean or set out to write a book, but what happens in this house is so lovely that I just had to share it. And so that's really the thing, is there's so much good that happens here that we just get to witness. We just get to witness our own dogs welcoming this endless stream of puppies through here, and our own dogs and our cats just set the tone. They sit there and they convey in 2 seconds, much quicker than we humans could, you're safe. It's good here. And to watch them come into this house and then just, maybe they're a little nervous, they're skittish, they're shaky, to watch them moments later romping around in our yard is the most glorious thing. So that's what the book shares, is all those little adventures, those little journeys. The book talks about kind of the most fun, interesting, moving, poignant little adventures that we've had with all of these pups coming through our house and our family.
Well, I have to tell you, Kathy, I read a lot of books on rescue. I read a lot of books on fostering. I read a lot of books on all that. And you really are very true and authentic in what goes on in fostering. What has surprised you most about fostering?
So I have to say, we got into this for the dogs. We are big time dog lovers, and that part has been true to form. We knew we would love it. We knew it would be delicious to have these puppies around all the time, and it's just great fun. What I didn't anticipate was the human element that would be so rewarding. And what has happened over time is this has turned into the most positive way to connect to people, which in these times is a really lovely thing. So, and it's not only connecting to the adopters who, obviously I'm so grateful that they step up and take in these dogs. And then we feel like family after that. We've both loved the same puppy, and then we stay in touch forever, and that's great. But it's also everyone else. We take these dogs in, and to help socialize these puppies, we take in litters at a time. That's how you get up to a number like almost 200 is, I'll take in a mom and her 8 pups. In fact, we just adopted out a whole litter this week. So I take in a whole bunch at a time. And what's great for puppies is socializing. And so we have friends and neighbors and Girl Scout troops and preschool kids come over to get these puppies used to all that human contact. And each one of those interactions is just so positive. These people come over and it feels great to them. It feels great to us. We get connected. I didn't know when we first took in those 2 puppies that I would end up, going to the grocery store and, kids who otherwise would be shy would come up to me and just be like, "Hey, Mrs. Callahan, I was watching your latest video. I just love little Brownie,"
Aww.
And it's just, so that part has surprised me, is that it would become this way that I'm suddenly connected in the most positive way you can imagine with all sorts of people. And that's kind of what made me think I could write this book, because I was posting, of course, I overpost on social media because I'm trying to get homes for these dogs. So, I'm constantly posting. And originally it was just to get homes on, Facebook and Insta. But then I'm finding out, I see these people commenting. It's, my husband's coworker's uncle is commenting about how, whenever he feels a little stressed, he goes to my page. And then I realize, okay, so this is the kind of story, truly, this speaks to everybody. Seeing puppies who would have been in a rough spot, but instead come to our little oasis for a little time and then find their forever home. That's a story that everybody can get behind, and that cheers everybody up, and it's just, it's hard to find a reliable source of cheer right now. Puppies on their way to a great new life, that is a reliable,
like, little extra thing. And I'm looking at the cover of your book right now. It's sitting right in front of me in the studio, and I'm looking at that puppy. Oh my gosh. You have a book full of them, but it just brings joy, such joy to your your heart. I'm telling you, everyone, 101 Rescue Puppies are going to love it. But I have to ask you this. I have been in rescue over 25 years, and my friends, my dog people friends, always say that if you look in the dictionary under foster failure, you see my picture. Have you ever been a foster failure with all of these puppies that you have?
Yes. So foster failure means that you fail to adopt out the dog you're fostering. So it's a classic move is that everybody thinks they're going to foster, but of course you get this dog in your house, you fall in love with them, and you keep them. But what happened with us was before we jumped onto this fostering train, we had a family. I still remember us sitting around the dining room table, and our kids were 15 and 12 at the time. And so we were all sitting around, and Tom said, okay, I do think we should do this. I think it'd be great for our family, do a little bit of good. You know, it's in our wheelhouse. We can do this. Plus, it'll be fun. But I don't want us to adopt any of our fosters because that's going to be just this emotional roller coaster every single time we take in a foster. You know, all four of us will be, is this the one? Is this the one? Oh, I love it. And he said, you know, that's just going to be torture for us. And I think we'll do a better job. It'll be better for us if we just decide, nope, that's not going to happen, and be serious about fostering. And we all actually thought that was a pretty good idea. We all signed up. We're like, yep. You are right. Well, so we did pretty well the first 5 fosters, but then we got our first nursing mom with her babies. That was Nala and her 7 babies that came to us when the pups were maybe a month old. So we had a little over a month with Nala and her babies in her house, and the whole time I'm just falling in love with Nala. And we're co-parenting, you know, we're up in the middle of the night together, taking care of the kids, we're bonding. But I'm realizing, I agreed, you know, I can't. And I really think it's important. I don't think you should ever push pets on other members of the household because it is a household decision. And we were utterly clear about all this. So at some point, Nala loved Tom, was snuggling up with her. And he said, you know, we really do have to find a special home for her. And I looked at him and I was like, well, this is a special home. Okay. So
we found it.
And we found it. And so he really did. He was like, you know what am I doing? Of course it is. So Nala was our first foster fail, and our second was another mom. So, you know, I have learned that we can give up the puppies because, you know, 3 days later you get these awesome pictures of these puppies totally settled in their new house. You know, you thought they loved you so much and you spent all this time with them sleeping across your chin and, you know, but then seriously, 3 days later, you get these awesome pictures of them totally snuggled in their new pack, and you just know they adjust so quickly. For the moms, it's a little bit harder for me to give them up because they've had more of a life beforehand. I don't know what they went through before they got to us, and you know they really relaxed into things here. And so it's a little bit more of a heartbreak to give them up, which just means I put in extra time to find that right match for them. And we've gotten super lucky. And so our moms, we've had kind of maybe a dozen moms, a little bit more at this point. They have all gone to great spots, except for the 2 that we have in fact failed with. And it's been the most spectacular fail. We are so happy to have them.
And you have so many happy stories with great endings, but sometimes there was a little drama on the way. Were you scared at all of what the next challenge might be?
Yeah. So that's the thing. Bad things can happen. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I generally feel like what happens at our house is the sweet spot in rescue. A lot of people, when they think about a book about dog rescue, are worried to read it because they think it's going to be so sad. Mm-hmm. Because just, you know, there are some bad stories, but that's not what this book was about.
You began with a happy feeling, the middle was a happy feeling, and the ending was a happy feeling.
Exactly. And so that generally is, the book reflects what my experience is, which is largely, this is the sweet spot. This is all happy. It's all good. However, within that, we have had a few medical issues that were so challenging to work through. But the thing is, like everything in life, you know, everybody's been through bad things. And I think most of us can point to the fact that tough stuff, while you wouldn't welcome it, you don't want it to happen again, for sure, good stuff comes out of it. For sure, good lessons come out of it. You learn good stuff. And that has been true for the challenges that came with the puppies as well. And so, that's at this point, I know we could have a litter with parvo. We could have a litter with, some kind of medical stuff that we can't overcome. But I know now it's still going to be okay in the end, and that we get so much support from this community. When a few sad things have happened, like seriously, people drop by soup and flowers, and they fill my inbox with happy stories of how much they love the foster they got from us. So even when some bad stuff happens, good lessons come flooding my way. So on balance, this whole fostering thing is ridiculously joyful, and I feel so lucky that we fell into it. We didn't, we just fell into it. And now it's a defining part of my life, certainly, and of our family life. And I wish for everyone to get this kind of strange little window in the world that suddenly offers all sorts of joy, where it always was there, but you didn't have a way to tap into it. And that's the thing. Now fostering gets me to tap into not only these delightful dogs, but the best side of people as well.
And I'm going to ask you a really tough question. Of all the puppies that you and your family have fostered, was there a favorite one?
There's really not. There's really not. Whatever group we have at the time always ends up feeling like the favorite. And for sure, there's something that we call last puppy syndrome, which is often, we have a litter, and at some point there's always a last puppy left, right? Everybody else gets adopted because those adoptions are usually staggered just a little bit, and so there's somebody that's last, and you're like, nobody picked them, and you kind of feel a little sad for them. And so we always bring them up, that little last guy. We're not going to leave him in the puppy den downstairs and that different. So we pull him up, frankly, we pull him up in bed with us, and we pull him up, and he becomes part of our pack for those days or whatever that it takes to find his home. Sure enough, every single time we're like, oh my gosh, this was the best one, every single time. But it's just because you get to know that one better. Because when you deal with a litter, it's a different kind of dynamic than dealing with one puppy alone. And so once you get the one puppy alone, oh my goodness, you really bond with them and you really get to know them. And then you that's when I have a chance to train a little bit more, and I can start introducing sit and touch and all sorts of things. And inevitably I'm like, oh, this one's so smart. Anyway, so often the last puppy syndrome pup ends up kind of being a favorite, but I also know that's just kind of because of circumstance. So.
And having been in, rescue and fostering dogs myself, I kind of have this dilemma too, but I have dogs and cats in my house. And can you just share with us which fosters you take in, and maybe how do you know who will fit, even though they're not permanently going to be in your...
And that's the most important thing. When you foster, if you ask me, a foster or adopt or take in a new dog, the most important thing is your loyalty to the pets currently in residence. You don't want to do something that's going to mess up their lives. So I am super careful to do the best I can picking moms who are going to do okay with my dogs and my kitties. And so I ask a ton of questions. I don't worry about the puppies, because puppies are containable. Puppies, when little guys like that, it's very easy to contain them. Of course, I don't let them have the run of the house anyway. That would be a disaster. So they can always be contained. So my dogs always, and my dogs and my cats always have the option to interact with pups or not, because the pups are contained. Or when we go outside, our dogs can choose to come out with, or they can choose to wait till the puppies aren't in the yard anymore. So it's always, my guys always have the choice. But when we take in a mom, it would be very challenging to try to keep the mom separate all the time from our pack. That would just be kind of some constant stress if it were the kind of mom that is really not going to be happy with other dogs. So I ask a million questions. So I've done this for a long time, and my rescue that I typically work with is Homeward Trails Animal Rescue in Arlington, Virginia, and they're really great. And my adoption coordinator knows these dogs come from shelter partners that we have that are typically in rural areas. And we've worked with those shelters a long time, and it's often the same people. So we ask the questions. What's this mom like with other animals? Has the mom been cat tested? Where is she coming from? And so I don't take dogs that we don't know anything about, because I don't want to take a big risk for my own animals in this house. I just do my due diligence and try to get dogs that I know that we've at least had some kind of signal that they're going to be great with my dogs and great with my cats. And we are 100% at this point. We always have ended up with dogs. And this has amazed me. When I first started, I completely thought that if you took on a mama dog, that mama was going to be super protective of the pups. And in the beginning, I absolutely thought I would have to sequester her away. We have kind of a rec room that opens to the yard, and I sort of thought that that would become the area, and that I thought that they would never interact with my animals well. I learned very quickly that that's just not how we're going to foster. And in fact, the way we foster, everyone's together all the time, and that's the fun of it. And we have just had 100%. We have every single time. It has worked out just fine. And partly I think that's because my pack is so grounded and so stable. I think that when a mom comes in here, if she might be inclined to be testy, she meets with this pack that has such a vibe that immediately she's like, oh, actually, it's okay. So it's been fun. It's just fun. We have a lot of friendships develop here.
I have found that in the past, the dogs have been fine. They all fit in. I had rescued a cat from a hurricane. We had to go through, and people had to leave their pets at home. They couldn't get into the shelter, and it was a lot of older people. So I found homes for the birds, for this, for that, and there's one cat I couldn't find a home for. The cat was bigger than I had greyhounds, whippets, and Italian greyhounds at the time, but it was bigger than my Italian greyhounds. I brought it home. I also had 2 cats. And that cat, he would hide behind the wall and attack my little Italian greyhounds. My cat, who was smaller than him, used to headbutt him to push him away. She'd see what he was going to do. So we actually rehomed him and found a wonderful home for him where he was the only animal and he was perfectly happy. But it's funny because you have to sort of decide, are they going to fit in or are they not going to fit in? And a lot of times you think, oh my gosh, I'm doing such a good thing. So it makes me feel good to know your story because I love reading about what you did. Now I have to ask you something, and you may have 20,000 of these. Can you share with us some of your sweetest foster memories?
Yeah, I do have a million of them. But part of it is just the stuff that happens every time. Like, we have a constant ability to go downstairs in that rec room and lie in the middle of 8 puppies. And so, for the past 2 weeks leading up to this election, and our whole family is home. So my grown daughters are home, because it's a crazy time. So one's 23, one's 20. My husband, we're all working from home. And so all of us have had the chance we just can go and snuggle in a pile of puppies whenever we want. Like, come on.
I just got
That's
goosies.
just
it's
crazy.
Nirvana, puppy nirvana.
It is. That's the thing. It just is. So that's just one of the things that's just kind of ongoing is there's just ongoing cuddles and hilarity. Like, they're funny. They're funny to watch them jump around and play with each other and form their own little friendships. It's very cute. The big stuff that I will never forget is, a mom gave birth. Piper gave birth on our couch. So that was not the plan. I had gone to all sorts of lengths to outfit her with the perfect spot to give birth. She chose the upholstery on my couch when I wasn't quite paying attention. So anyway, that's an incredible thing to be next to a being giving birth, like just amazing. And so then we had 8 weeks, so these puppies were born. I saw their first moment. I saw them open their eyes. I still remember staring into the eyes of the first puppy who opened his eyes, little Puffin. And by then I felt like I knew him so well. I'd felt him, moving around in his mom's tummy, and then saw him born. And then he finally opened his eyes and we looked at each other. And again, at that stage, I don't think they can really see much out of their eyes, but it felt like we were looking at each other like, hey, it's you. Just so amazing. So Tom and I, a lot of this is it's just a fun thing to do with your family. Tom and I have become empty nesters at this point, although, as I said, the girls are back right now. But it's a fun thing that we do together. Like, we spent our 22nd anniversary driving in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock to a rendezvous to go pick up a mom and her 4 puppies that was like 2 hours away. That's just fun. That's just fun to find yourself 22 years into marriage doing something like that, filling up your thermos, just having a kick out of how weird your life is. We're driving.
It's not weird. It's like fun, intriguing, and magical. And I know it has its downsides, not downsides, but challenges. And you know what, Kathy, you convey this beautiful feeling in the book that you just walk away after you read the book feeling so joyful. You actually feel like you're a part of what you went through. Like even when the puppies were born, how you went through like all of this, you took us through it beautifully. And I know for myself, coming to the end of the book, I almost didn't want it to end. I've never met you personally, but I felt like I knew you, and I felt like I knew the puppies, and I felt like I was a part of this whole thing that was going on. So you did a beautiful, beautiful job writing the book, conveying the feelings. It was just wonderful. I mean, for those of you that are looking to walk away with a wonderful feeling, or if you're just looking to smile, you have to get 101 Rescue Puppies, because you open up to any page and your heart will be full. And I'm speaking from experience because it happened to me. Where can the listeners go to learn more about you and all of your fabulous and amazing work that you do? And where can they go to get their copy of 101 Rescue Puppies?
First of all, thank you for all of that. And honestly, I just have to say, all I'm doing is reporting what happens here. I feel so lucky that this stuff happens in my house, and I'm just trying to share a little. I just hope readers walk away with a smidgen of the feeling we have just by getting to foster this way.
I think they will.
So you can buy that book wherever you like to buy your books. So you can shop local, you can go to Amazon, you can go to Barnes and Noble. It's everywhere. So anywhere you like to buy your book, you will find it. I have to say that what's fun about Amazon is that all the reviews are on there. So it's fun to see what people are saying about the book. And so if you don't believe it yet, go check out those reviews. And then my stuff is on my website, www.puppypicks. That's puppy, PICKS.com, like you're picking a good puppy. And you'll just find stuff. I have become a dog trainer over these years. When I first started, we were just dog owners, but I've ended up getting fascinated with dog behavior and have become a dog trainer. And so there's a lot of information on there. If you do have a new puppy, there's some little short training videos in there. There's some good links. I do write for Whole Dog Journal now. And so you can find some good dog training information on that website as well. So it's www.puppypicks.com.
And as a rescue pup herself, as I said, Miss Olive has chosen 101 Rescue Puppies to be featured in her holiday gift guide as one of Miss Olive's favorite things. And again, it's perfect. Not only it's the perfect gift for pet lovers, it's also the perfect gift for someone who just wants to feel good and wants to smile and have their heart feel good. It's a beautiful book. And I'm telling you, go to Amazon or go wherever you buy your books. Look at the cover. You're going to hit click. I'm telling you right now. So, Kathy, I want to thank you so much for being our guest, for sharing your amazing foster puppy stories. And as a rescue mama myself, I want to thank you for your dedication, patience, empathy, and the love that you and your family devoted to these puppies. And again, all of you, please visit PuppyPicks, PuppyPicks.com to learn more about Kathy and this amazing book, 101 Rescue Puppies. So, Kathy, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was just really fun to talk to you.
It was fun talking to you, too. Have a great holiday, and we'll be back in just a moment.
All right, you do. Thank you so much.
We would like to thank our guests this week. And also, as our Doggy Divas always say, please love your pets because they love you unconditionally. And please remember to adopt, foster, spay, neuter, and microchip. And as always, please have a great Diva week, everyone.
That's all for this episode of the Doggy Diva Show. To find out more, go to our website, thedoggydiva.com. Also, find us on our Facebook page, The Doggy Diva Show, and tell your fellow dog lovers about it. Don't miss Susan Marie, Miss Olive, and the Doggy Divas right here for the next episode. See you again soon.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.